welcome to the baking show. I'm Ari Perez. I'm joined by Christy O'Connor and Allie Lammers.
Today we are going to be making deep dish chocolate chip caramel filled cookies.
It's going to take about 25 minutes to prepare and serves 12. So let's start by going over the ingredients you're going to need. You're going to need caramel Ghirardelli squares along with semi-sweet chocolate chips, sugar and vanilla extract, baking soda, softened butter and an egg, cornstarch, salt, brown sugar, and flour.
So the first thing we're going to do is preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which I've already done. So next I'm going to go ahead and spray some vegetable oil onto our baking sheet. Just a thin layer is all you need. And now I'm just going to set this aside so we can go ahead and start measuring and mixing our ingredients.
Okay, our next step is to mix together our first set of ingredients. So we pre-measured everything for you, so you're going to pour in 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Get all that in there, and then 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. Ooh, got a little spill. And then a teaspoon of baking soda. And then your last ingredient is just going to be half teaspoon of salt. Then once all that is poured in there, you can whisk it together. And it's not going to take much, obviously, so mix that up, and then we can set that aside for right now.
Alright, so our next step is going to be taking our adorable Hello Kitty mixing bowl, and we're going to be mixing in our dry ingredients. We're going to take a 1/4 cup of white sugar and 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, and then we're going to mix in a 1.5 sticks of softened butter. Now we're not trying to get anyone a heart attack here.
These cookies are definitely worth that though.
But make sure you take out the butter as soon as possible so it's softened and ready to go. And then we're going to take our electric mixer and mix it all up. Alright, so you're going to want to keep mixing it until it gets a nice creamy texture. It's not going to be soupy, it's going to be a little bit more creamy.
Now that all that's done, we're going to go ahead and add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So let's get that in there really quick. 1 and 2. Smells good. And we just need 1 egg.
I'm going to let Ari take care of the egg this time because if I crack it, we're going to get some crunchy cookies.
Yeah, don't want that for sure. Okay, and just like we did before, we're going to go ahead and use the mixer and mix all these together now.
Okay, welcome back, you guys. You're going to bring these dry ingredients that we mixed together earlier back. We're going to start mixing those in with the butter mixture that Ari and Allie put together. So let's just start with a little bit at a time. Right there's probably good. And then we can mix that. You can do it with a beater or you can mix it with a flat spatula if you have one. So we'll just use this to speed it up. Hopefully it doesn't explode on me. Woo! Okay. It's going to be pretty thick after that, and this is kind of where you want that flat spatula to get the sides cleaned off that bowl, but we don't have one because we're broke college students. So we'll just use a spoon for this part. And you can see it's pretty thick in there, but got to get those sides off. I'm just mixing that up. Okay, so then after you got that all mixed together, make sure all the flour is mixed in, you can start adding the chocolate where everything gets really tasty. So you're gonna have 1 cup of just semi-sweet morsels. We got Nestle, but obviously you can use whatever you'd like. Okay, so I have the chocolate chips here, just 1 cup. And then we'll mix that together, and then we can start getting things with the pan together. And I'm gonna bring Ari back with our pan. Okay.
Looks great.
I would taste it, but there's a raw egg in it, so I'm not going to do that.
This hasn't stopped me before.
Okay, so are we using...
We can actually, if you want, I can go ahead and switch spots with you for just a second and work on getting the dough out.
Okay, so we are using a cookie sheet, but since they are deep dish cookies, it probably would have been better to have a muffin tin, but like I said, we are broke and do not have that, so we can make it work with a cookie sheet, but if you do have a muffin tin, it'll probably be a little bit less messy. And once you have all the dough together, this is how you're going to start putting it on the pan. You can just take a little bit on your spoon here. Ooh.
You may need to use your hands, so make sure
Yeah.
you wash those real good before.
Okay, so you're just going to take a little bit here, scoop it off, kind of flatten it out there, and that's when you're going to put one of your Ghirardelli squares on. Real chocolatey, so I hope you like chocolate,
And
because
then-
these are going to be rich.
Yeah, you're gonna take another little ball of the dough and put it right on top, and you're gonna wanna kind of cover up that chocolate square so it's hidden almost. It's gonna be a nice surprise for whoever gets their hands on this.
They are caramel filled, so that's kind of why you want to cover the edges there. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of it oozing out, which we probably are going to have that anyway. But try and cover it up as much as you can, just so it's not everywhere when you take it out of the oven. But this is our first time making these, so don't be alarmed if it is.
That one started.
Okay.
And as we mentioned earlier, this is gonna make about 12 cookies.
All right. So once you have those all good and covered up, you can pop them into the oven, and we preheated it before to 350 degrees, and you're just going to cook these from 10 to 12 minutes, but obviously keep an eye on them. You never know with your kind of oven, so just till they get golden on the edges.
And when we come back, we'll go ahead and pull these out and get to try them. Don't go anywhere.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We're gonna pull our cookies out of the oven. They have been in here for 15 minutes until they were golden brown.
Oh, they look great.
They smell delicious.
Here, and we'll go ahead and take one off here. Can I see that?
Sure.
Don't want to burn myself. Go ahead, and we're gonna break it up so that you guys can see how that middle turned out with that Ghirardelli chocolate square. Looks great,
That looks
nice and
delicious.
melted.
They didn't burst open, so that's good.
Yeah, definitely. We didn't make too much of a mess.
Finally
Go
get to try
ahead
them.
Take a small bite.
Sure.
Do you want to try it?
No.
Mmm, nice and chewy, just
Oh
the
my
way I
God.
like it.
So good.
Perfect.
Delicious.
Not too much chocolate either.
Mm-mm.
Just right.
Just enough.
Well, thank you for joining us on the baking show, and join us next week if you want to see some peanut butter Rice Krispie treats.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
Those are so good.
Mm-hmm.